pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, my name is Addison Adams, and I am the chair of the Clearfield City Youth Commission. This is Ian Barlow, he's the vice chair. Since being on the commission, we have met with Chief Bennett and Sergeants Ferreira and Vance, all of which have been a wonderful experience. We were given a tour of the police station and got to see the equipment and the processes that are used there. They answered all our questions, and as someone who is considering going into criminal justice, it was very informational and helpful. We also had the opportunity to visit the new fire station a few weeks ago. We got to tour the station and try on some equipment. We were informed of the processes and procedures, and we also learned about CPR, the Heimlich maneuver, and how we can help within our community. 2 weeks ago, we got to visit the mosquito abatement, which most of us didn't know even was a thing. We are very grateful that we were able to go visit and learn about what goes on there and what these people do for our community. At our DC trip, March 2024, member Samuel Bradshaw learned how bills are debated and has used that to win small debates in classes, and we are all excited to be able to take the trip to NLC again next year. It has been communicated that former members of the CCYC have gone off to the Ivy League, such as Brown and Harvard. Others have mentioned the life-changing experiences on the NLC DC trip. It has made members, current and former, realize that there's a life after high school and that there is more hope, that there is something more than working at a dead-end job after school. We have been inspired into looking at options for furthering education, getting involved politically, and being involved in the community. Thank you.
Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's great to hear from our Youth Commission. We appreciate that. Well, that'll move us on with council. We have minutes from the January 28th work session, the March 25th policy session, and the April 8th policy session. Had a chance to review the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to approve them.
I move to approve the minutes from January 20th, 2025 work session, March 25th, 2025 policy session, and April 8th, 2025 policy session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that is unanimous. Need to excuse Councilmember Thompson this evening. He is probably listening in online, but he was in for our work session but feeling ill and not wanting to spread that to any of you or us, so we do appreciate that. That'll bring us to our open comment period. I have two forms tonight. I've got Alan Millard. Millard, I got it right the first time. Did you want to address this, or is this you just?
I will address. Sure. You were here first. No, you've had your turn first. Yes, my name is Alan Millard. I'm a Clearfield resident, and I seen this garbage can out from my place today, and I was stopped by another fellow that was wondering what this was, because he had one in front of his place, and so I don't know. I haven't a clue. And he said, well, call the number and see what they tell you. And go, what? I have to pay to have this removed? That's like going into Walmart and having to tell them you don't want a product, or they're going to charge you for that product anyway. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. It's a principle. I mean, that's extortion. Business doesn't work that way. Neither does a ethical city government.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say. Yeah.
And then Taylor Nielsen.
My name is Taylor Nielsen. I'm a Clearfield resident for about 6 years, so I know I'm not the longest resident here. But about 6 months ago, you guys increased our service fees for trash pickup. And then since I moved in, I get the letter saying from Clearfield, pay utilities. Go online, I pay my utilities. It sounds like you guys have put the warnings, I guess, or the opt-out requests for these trash cans. Well, I got home today, never reading anything about it. My neighbor and I had a discussion, same with across the street. We talked. We both called one after another to the hall here, and we're told basically either to come to the city council meeting or to deal with it. Where I kind of got upset and I threatened to just leave it on your guys' doorstep because I didn't sign up for it, and I was told I needed to opt out. I was told that I could go on social media because that was where it was being broadcasted for. I don't have social media. It's a cancer to our society. So now I'm stuck either on top of my already increased bill to pay another increase for a trash can I didn't ask for and don't want that was forced upon me, or I can pay the fee to have you guys take it back, which I don't want to step too much on what Mr. Millard was saying to save everybody's time, but I feel it's unethical and it's unreasonable that you guys, instead of having an opt-in option, to have an opt-out. Because as we were talking with my neighbor and I were speaking, one of your public works trucks stopped by and we flagged them down and told them, or asked them, and they had said that they'd been flagged down several times and that the downstairs receptionist had been flooded with calls all day that nobody wants these trash cans. The guys in the truck said roughly like 10% of the people that they had talked to wanted them, and I feel like it would have been a much better uses of the city budget to have an opt-in for the 10% of the people that wanted them versus an opt-out and force us to pay for these trash cans. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will at least, and it probably won't suffice for what you're looking for, but we reviewed it for months as we went round and about this. Our neighboring cities that all just initiated recycling programs did the mandatory. There was no opt-out, no opt-in. It was, we're dropping you off a can. If you don't like it, too bad. We'll take it back, but you're still paying a fee. We chose to at least have an opt-out. Part of that goes to cost ultimately for everyone that is using it, but because we were asked by a landfill to implement a program. And so we implemented a program, but instead of taking it to every resident and just saying you're doing it whether you like it or not, and we're going to charge you, which would have reduced our cost on the cans quite a bit, we said, no, we're going to have people opt out and at least give them that option to get out of this program. Reaching every resident in the city is tough. We mail out water bills, and so they're there. Even if you're paying online, you're still getting a bill. We hope that people open that, but we're very limited on the other ways to communicate with the city. So we did everything that we could in that sense to make that happen.
If you're signing up for something, that's fine. You sign off. You're accountable then, but you're not if it's being forced on you to buy something that you didn't sign off. I mean,
Well, but again, our other option, as I said, our other option was to just implement it and bill everybody. And it would have been.
Just ask them. Give them the choice.
Well, and I understand what you're saying. And again, we can't debate it tonight. We can't take any action on it tonight. But I at least wanted you to understand why we went that route, because our other option was just to do what our neighboring cities have done. Every neighboring city.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
No.
More than one wrong.
Well, understandable. But thank you both. Appreciate it.
Is there a way that Clearfield, because I remember when I first moved in, you guys were canvassing at my house for, I can't remember what at this point. But I feel like that would have been better because, again, when I get my bill from Clearfield City, I know that my bills are due, so I pull it up and I pay it online and I throw the envelope away without ever opening it. So I feel like, and for example, my neighbor that I was speaking to, he works out of town most of the time, so he never even had the opportunity to see it. It just comes right out of his checking account. So he also never got the opportunity. And what we're saying is whether or not the other cities are doing it, instead of giving us the choice to say, no, I don't want this, why didn't we get the option to, you know what, yeah, I would like to do this. I would like my $10 extra on top of the $17 I'm already increased over last year for the same service that I'm still getting. And I've had to call the city twice because it's bi-weekly pickup, every other week. And sometimes I would go a month and a half without my trash can getting dumped. So I had to call and complain, and now it gets done every other week. But I feel like there's much better ways to collect $10 from all the households than to force a trash can upon us. I live with my wife, and it's just the two of us. My trash can may get full once a month. So for me to have a second trash can is completely counterproductive for me to have to pay overall $27 extra over what I was paying 2 years ago.
I'm seeing my trash can doesn't even get full enough.
Understandable. And
In other
All righty. What's that? Oh, and then I did have Jenna Nelson. Oh, and Tracy.
Yeah, Teresa's with me tonight. Thank you, guys. If I can just start off by just expressing how proud I am of the youth commissioners being here tonight, leading the pledge, and just updating you on things that they've been doing. They've been working really hard and been very, very dedicated, and I'm so proud of the steps that they've taken to advance our youth commission. So if I can just tell them that. And then before I begin with why I'm actually here, if you don't mind, I would just like to express my deep condolences to Mayor Ramsey in South Jordan, the South Jordan Fire Department, and the family of the fallen firefighter, Corbin Summers. This is obviously a very difficult time for all of them, and I would like them to know that they're getting love from Clearfield City and the Clearfield Youth Commission. In the mid-90s, while I was a teenager, I was sexually abused for over 2 years by a trusted instructor in the community. He groomed me, assaulted me, and gaslit me the entire time. He found a way into my confidence when my dad had a heart attack by being there for me, to offer support, allowed me to talk about the fears I had with my dad's hospitalization, and continued befriending me over time. When he progressed to sexual abuse, I didn't even realize what was happening. My immature brain and my emotions were confused, but allowed it. How could it be inappropriate? I trusted him. I trained with him almost daily. He wouldn't do anything to hurt me, right? I never said anything to anyone out of fear my dad would get angry and harm the abuser and end up in prison. Or as my abuser said, if your dad found out about our relationship, he wouldn't understand. He would have another heart attack and he would die. So why would I say anything to anyone when I feared losing my dad one way or another? 17 years later, I found the courage to say something. It was too late to prosecute, as the statute of limitations for reporting these crimes at that time was only 4 years. I have since worked with our state legislature to change that. Thanks to House Bill 247 out of 2020, the statute of limitations now gives a minor until age 28 to report sex crimes committed against them between the ages of 14 and 18. Even with my experience in being a survivor and advocating so loudly for victims and for laws to be updated and changed, I still became a victim a second time just a few years ago. Knowing the signs, being vocal, and having self-defense training doesn't matter. It can happen to anyone at any time. Dating violence and romantic partner sex crimes are a real thing. While in a relationship, it's easy to miss how you're being abused or assaulted. The abuse can make you think you're crazy or overreacting. They isolate their victims so they have no one to talk to. These things are common in an abusive relationship. Thankfully, over the years, many things have changed. There is more discussion and exposure of these crimes. It is no longer a crime that regularly is ignored or swept under the rug. Each year during the month of April, sexual assaults are brought into the awareness of other people with the hopes of reaching more victims to assist them in reporting the crime, getting victims connected with resources, and making sure victims feel safe and supported. Any sex crime is unacceptable, but it's even worse when these crimes occur to children and minors. More and more programs and advocacy for these crimes are being introduced. Clearfield City is one city who has become proactive by creating a position for a victim's advocate. I want to thank Clearfield City for their efforts and dedication to help victims and survivors navigate this terrifying world victims and survivors ultimately find themselves in. I've invited Teresa here tonight to go over some of the things Clearfield City can assist victims and survivors with. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. Hello, Teresa.
Thank you for giving time to support survivors. I know you're all aware of the Victim Services Program that we have, but for anybody who doesn't know, I'm Teresa. I'm the victim advocate. I'm able to help all the victims in Clearfield. We give them support by helping them from the incident all the way through the criminal justice process, as well as beyond that. In last year, 2024, the Clearfield City Police responded to 63 sex offenses. We work closely with Safe Harbor to make sure that all of those survivors' needs are addressed. A lot of times with sex assaults, victims aren't sure if they want to report. the way we are here with our program, I'm able to help them regardless of whether they're reporting to police or not. I can help them, decide whether they want to make that report or just get in touch with resources to help them heal and move forward. I really appreciate all of your willingness and continued support for the victims here in Clearfield. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. We appreciate you coming tonight, and Jenna as well. And we've made that permanent declaration of sexual harassment, sexual abuse awareness month, and made that permanent in the city, so we don't have to do it every year in a formal setting. But we appreciate you coming out and speaking with us and drawing attention to that. Our next item is to consider approval of a proclamation declaring April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in Clearfield City. And this is a proclamation that we have done each year with Tree City USA. And so, Council, do you want me to read the entire proclamation? I am happy to do so.
I think we should.
I'll do so, because a couple of you are new and haven't been here when the last time we approved this. So in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas the holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable source giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community, and whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a good source of joy and spiritual renewal, now therefore I, Mark Shepard, Mayor of Clearfield City, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Clearfield, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And I further urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. So, Council, with that, I would entertain a motion on that declaration.
Your Honor, seeing as you read us that excellent proclamation, I move to approve the proclamation officially declaring April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Clearfield and authorize your signature to any necessary documents.
Second.
Oh, wow.
I'll give it to Nika.
All righty. We have a motion and then a second that we'll give to Councilmember Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item number 3 is to consider approval of Resolution 2025 R-06, approving the polling location and voting centers for the municipal elections on August 12th, 2025 and November 4th, 2025. And Kirsty is going to present for us this evening.
Yes, good evening, Council and Mayor. As was included in the packet for this item, the polling location for our primary and general election, as well as the list of vote centers throughout the county, have been designated by the county. By law, the election officer is required to designate polling places for each voting precinct in the jurisdiction and obtain the approval of the municipal legislative body for those locations. This approval is required at least 90 days before the election, and the county's asked us to submit our approval by May 14th. This year, our polling location is City Hall. We'll be doing it in the multipurpose room on the second floor. It was the intention to have it be held at the Clearfield Library as it was last year, but they had booked a special exhibition that impacted the general election date, and the county didn't want to have different locations for the primary if we have one and the general, so we had to move it here. So any questions about what was in the packet? Or
Will the ballot box drop-off still be at the library?
yeah, as far as we know right now, it'll still be at the library, yeah.
Okay, just good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
Okay, thank you, Council. Kirsty, Council, any further discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve Resolution 2025 R-06, approving the polling location and vote centers for the municipal election on August 12th, 2025 and November 4th, 2025, and authorize the mayor's signature to any necessary documents.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Roper? Aye. Councilmember Worth?
Aye.
Councilmember Ratchford?
Aye.
Councilmember Peterson?
Aye.
Okay, that is unanimous, and that brings us to our communication items. Just a note, the Utah League meetings this last week went very well, were very well attended. Some good information coming out there, mostly review of legislative affairs and some great discussions on housing and water and just about everything else that is pertinent to us. I will be out of town tomorrow and Thursday, and back Thursday night, so it's all yours.
Don't burn the city down.
Don't burn
my best.
That's all I've got this evening. Councilmember Peterson?
Thank you. Nothing formal from Wasatch Integrated, but to the gentlemen that are here, as the mayor said during public comment, we're not allowed to get into big discussions on anything that's not on our agenda, but we're almost done with this meeting. If you'd love to talk out there, I'm our representative for the city on that and was key in the decision as far as how that was rolled out and the decision behind that. I'd be happy to meet with both of you after this meeting if you want to just step out there, and we'll do that right after that. So you have a chance to actually have more of a discussion than state law allows us in having to stick to just our agenda tonight. So happy to do that here in like 5 minutes.
Okay. Councilmember Ratchford?
I don't have anything to report besides our ambulance is on site. It is being wrapped, and all of the fix-ins are being placed inside of it. So we should have our 5th ambulance to support all of the services that needed for the Clearfield City. So that's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you. Councilmember Worth?
Just a few things from me. I want to start out with a shout out to the Clearfield PD officers who joined Circles in Together We Ball last week. Nice. And coincidentally also smoked me. Next year I'm going to get them. I missed every shot I took, so they had my number. Then we just passed that resolution for Arbor Day. I just want to point out that the Arbor Day event for the city to help plant trees is April 25th at 10 a.m. at Kiwanis Park. And then on April 29th, the community band will be playing at Clearfield High starting at 7 p.m. And I strongly encourage any of you who have a free night to come watch them play. They're phenomenal. May 17th as well is the ribbon cutting for the skate park grand reopening. Our Parks and Recreation Commission as well as city staff have done an excellent job in putting a ton of work into ensure that that will be great for skaters, but also anybody who enjoys checking out what's going on. There will be food trucks, fun, swag. So anybody who wants to come spend a Saturday with us, please do. And then just to commend our youth commission, not only for coming by to speak to us and lead the Pledge of Allegiance, but also a renewed energy that they have. They've taken it upon themselves to work really hard in recruiting additional members. Last 2 weeks ago, or last week, I'm losing track of the date, but they invited a lot of their peers out to the second floor of this building. We had a really strong turnout. And just something I'm really passionate about is once you start getting involved in your community, it can become leading a pledge, or it can become leading a movement, and eventually a city like ours. And someday those kids will be decision makers, whether it's in government or in enterprise. And I'm just excited to see where life and the Youth Commission goes under their stewardship.
Awesome. Thank you. Councilmember Roper?
If you don't have anything else to do next Wednesday, the Davis Chamber Business Expo's next Wednesday. There's some
Be there.
good Clearfield businesses that will be there as well, but it's a great opportunity to support all of our businesses here in Davis County, and I'll be there.
And if you hadn't noticed, we got a new business today.
So
the RC remote control car company, whatever they call themselves, Adrenaline Sports or something, that was out in Riverdale, has moved into the old Family Dollar store down there by.
Hobbyists are like really excited about it online.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to check it out.
I drove by there today, and the entire front of the building.
Now we have that and end zone.
Full,
We're
so
set.
every parking space out there was full as I drove down here today. So that's a positive thing. So, city manager's report, JJ.
Thanks for everybody's collaboration on difficult budget decisions. It's just, as you heard the comments earlier, a lot of collaboration from staff and also from City Council. We appreciate the role that you all play in that as well. And it's not easy, but I'm really glad with the way it's shaping up. And kudos to everyone in our Community Services Department that hosted the Easter egg hunt
Thank you.
on Saturday.
Yes.
Two different hunts and went well. I think there were audio problems at Fisher Park. Is that right?
I didn't have any problems.
Oh, okay.
No, Steve was great, and let me see, it's 30,000 eggs that get
Yeah.
stuffed for that event,
In
which
30
is just crazy. So.
I just saw a comment on Facebook about it would have been nice if there was a countdown, so I figured, well, I know there was at Steed because that's where I was.
There was at Fisher because that's where I was, and I was doing the counting, so.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, that's great. So, yeah, thanks to everybody involved in that. And lastly, had a really good week, as the mayor indicated, not only with the League of Cities and Towns Conference, but also with the City Manager Conference last week. Time well spent, good training and networking. Thank you.
Okay. Staff reports, Nancy?
Kind of talked about our schedule earlier. We won't have a meeting next week. We are planning on May 6th. We'll be doing a big policy session on May 13th. We're looking at possibly having a meeting on the 20th as well, and then we would have our next policy session May 27th. So.
Excellent. Any other staff reports? Okay, seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Second.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Second, you guys.
Thanks for the text.
You might have some.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it.
Here again.